We got to go. We're going to talk David Njoku, right? David Njoku. Man, this guy's born under the right star. We talked about this last week because we heard it was coming down the pike. It's actually a reality now. David Njoku is the 4th highest paid tight end in the National Football League. 4 years, just under $57 million. Half of that is guaranteed. My guess is he'll never see the back end of that deal because I don't see.
Well, let's hope he becomes worth it.
I hope he is. But if you go on what he's done in his 5 years in the NFL, his production puts him between 16 and 22 tight end wise. Yet he's number 4 right now in the NFL. And guys, he's just a handful of dollars behind guys like Kelsey, who, when you start comparing the production, it's nowhere close.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they had him on a franchise deal and could have kept him this year to see what he's going to be with Deshaun Watson.
No, I don't get this at all.
They bought the farm when they could have rented it for another year. I just don't understand.
Everyone seems to agree on that.
No, I think you're a
All right, well, what's the question? Tell me what their thought process is.
With that.
Wait,
we want the fan reactions
to that
first.
point. McNugget said that the internet. He was able to find guys on the internet that think this is somehow a good deal.
It's a great deal.
I'm still listening. I can be swayed.
You can be swayed.
Yeah, no, we got some great comments from the viewers as part of our What the Internet is Saying, which is sponsored by our favorite airfoils in America, PCC Airfoils. If you're looking for a job with career advancement and great benefits, PCC Airfoils is a leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio. All the locations of PCC Airfoils in Eastlake, Mender, Wickliffe, and Minerva are hiring for all
Visit the
positions
Menor
starting
branch.
at $18 an hour.
The Menor branch.
The Menor
That
branch
plus
of
full
Airfoils
benefit
is great.
packages, paid time off,
What a
and a
campus.
signing bonus. Apply online at precast.com/careers to learn more. So here's what we tweeted.
Are we encouraging people to buy
Airfoils.
airfoils or to get involved in the aerospace
Both.
industry?
All of
Whatever. Okay, great.
All of
Mike
it.
Do
screwed
it
up
all.
Menor, though. I don't think he said Menor.
Go
right.
get that 18 an hour. You know what you could do on 18 an hour? You could win on 18 an hour.
Yes,
Go
you
get
can.
That job, bro.
Absolutely, you can. Parlay that.
So we asked the internet,
Yes.
using only a GIF, what's your initial reaction to the Njoku extension? Steve, let's cut right to the next video here, and we'll get to 4 internet reactions. This was the first one.
That's appropriate.
No explanation needed. Number 2, Steve.
Very
Number 3,
good.
Steve.
Wow, that's bold.
And number 4.
Okay, Walter's loving it.
Hey, can we drop the tail line so
I
we can
love
see
that
what
kid.
the
Is that
meme
kid
says?
excited or like taken aback? Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see it. Yeah.
The whole, we're just seeing part of it. The whole GIF is he walks into the room and he immediately sees something and he gets spooked and he turns around and he leaves the room.
We didn't have time to show you that whole GIF,
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah. So I think there was only
G
one
likes
that really
this.
co-signs this trade.
I need to hear from him why he likes this because I don't get it.
See, this is the easy part about this, man. Let's talk economics here, right? Let's talk about you doing futures here, right? Your money today might not be your money tomorrow, right? So you take your money and you invest it. You don't buy the stock price when it's at an all-time high. You buy the stock price when it's medium, and you go and think, okay, well, what is this stock going to do 2 to 3 years down the line? I'm looking at a long-term investment here. If you look at a guy like Greg Olsen, right? Everyone thinks Greg Olsen is great. Great tight end, right? He has some great years. You know, Greg Olsen did not have a 1,000-yard year until his 8th year of the game.
What?
2007, 391 yards. 2008, 574. 2009, 612. 2010, 404. 2011, 540. He finally did something in his 6th year in 2012 when he went to
this would be Njoku's 6th
He
year.
was probably
so
making
he's
$300,000 each of those years too.
But
exactly.
when you take a look at what Njoku was doing, you look at these guys. George Kittle's making a bunch of money. Dallas Goedert.
All studs.
Dallas Goedert is not nobody's. I'm not scared of him.
He hasn't produced like
They
those
like
other
him though, and they think he's got a
Consistency.
ton of
He hasn't-
upside.
he
Here's the
three.
thing.
I wouldn't have paid Goddard that either.
I wouldn't have either.
14 for Goddard. And
Everybody else on that list is worth every penny of
right.
it, though.
And so here's what you think. When you get a Deshaun Watson, let me run a couple routes. I'm open too. You got a running game. You got all the fixings up front. You got the line. You can run play action. There's going to be people walking right open. Amari Cooper is your best receiver you've had since '99. I'll put it on the books.
Harrison Bryant couldn't be that guy?
Yeah, if that's the case,
for a
why pay
lot
him
less
that
money?
much? Yeah.
And we have an affinity to tight ends. You know Kevin Stefanski want 10 tight ends. So he's like, okay, well, look, we got rid of Hooper. He's not no good. Well, let me just give some of the money to Njoku.
We have a history of overpaying tight ends, that's for sure.
Here's the thing, G. Here's what I got a problem with this on multiple levels. Number one, what's the rush? I get what you're saying. Maybe you get it
got
on
him
the
on a
ground
tag
floor.
for this year.
I just don't know. Let's say he has a magnificent season.
Right.
Let's say he has 85 catches for 1,113 yards and 9 touchdowns.
Well, then G's right.
Then he's the highest paid tight end in the game.
Then G's right.
Okay, so you're paying him $16 million, so it's only $2 million more.
So let me give you this, boy.
What was the point?
Really quick retort, though.
Yeah.
Who cares about the money?
Well, if there was no salary cap, we'd never even have these conversations.
By the way, let me give you this. Who have the Browns not been able to go sign because they gave somebody else
Tretter.
money?
JC Tretter.
And JC Tretter was okay, but he's not no all-pro.
Second best
Yes,
center
he
in the league
is.
last year. Second best center in the league.
Yes,
last
he
year.
is.
Where's
JC
the Pro Bowl?
Tretter is an all-pro.
Did he make the Pro Bowl last year?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
No,
JC
I don't know either, but I'll take JC Tretter and pay the salary.
JC
and never
Tretter is a
think
much
twice
more
about it.
accomplished center than Njoku is
And
a tight
he's
end.
old. He's 33 years old.
But he was still really good last year. He never misses any time.
I look at it like this. He's 24. He has all the intangibles. He got the talent. He can move. He's vertical. He looks the part. He does the part. He's improved in his blocking. And if you think about it, why would I take my money and give it to somebody else when I don't
Keep
know
that
what
up,
they're
Mikey.
about? I don't know what type
Mikey,
of game
keep
they
that
I'm not
back
got.
asking it. Well, they didn't need to give this money to anybody.
Who's the replacement?
G,
I'm not replacing him. He's
look
on
at
a
your screen
franchise
right now,
tag.
G.
What am I going to pay him
Look
for?
at your screen right now.
What am I paying him for?
Look at your screen right now, and I want to hear. I want to hear how G's processing this information right now.
So what I would ask is, who was his quarterback?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Who did Mark
So-
Andrews have at the second half of last year?
Mark Andrews had, listen,
Lamar was hurt.
The whole system is built off two people. Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson. Mark Andrews
Lamar
is their
Jackson
number
got
one
hurt.
target.
Lamar Jackson got hurt, and Mark Andrews still put up huge numbers.
He's still the number one target. You got to look at this. David Njoku started off as the third tight end. Hooper got all his
Remember
touches.
when we were having this argument last week, and we said he drops a lot of footballs, and you said, I don't know, let me look at it, and then about 30 seconds later, you piped up and you go,
He's
It's well timed.
ooh, he does drop a lot of footballs.
He drops a little too many footballs for my liking, right? But my thing is,
I just can't make him the fourth highest paid tight end
the money
when
is-
he's ranked 25th, 26th
This is
in two categories.
this is my real question.
And
You-
that
one of
doesn't
you guys
include
might be able to
drops.
come up with an example of this. I certainly can't because I don't have that kind of knowledge. But is there an example of another player that has been rewarded this handsomely based on potential?
Not that I can remember.
And with a track
Not
record.
that I can remember.
I'm not saying it's not right. I'm just saying, is there an example of that being successful where somebody said, you haven't produced yet, but we think you might, and we're going to give you this
And
much
you've
money.
had 5 seasons
And you've had
to do
5
it. You know
seasons
what?
to do it.
Let's settle this the simple way.
Yeah, I can't think of an
I
example.
want to bring
that
in. I
hasn't
want to
happened.
bring in the voice of reason. Aditi Kinkhabwala. Did I get it?
Kinkhabwala.
Kinkhabwala. Did I get it?
Aditi, talk to
Aditi,
him.
help me.
Talk to him.
Help me,
It's a
Aditi.
great, Aditi, talk to him. It's a great deal.
I know, but it's. I want to properly say your name for crying out loud. We need a
Fine,
tutorial.
we'll take
You gotta
it. You know,
straighten
it's not,
out G
what,
here.
You know what's funny about it is that, well, whatever. We'll move on. Let's talk about Njoku because, quite
Yes.
frankly, I do think that the Browns overpaid for him. I do not think he is the 5th best tight end in the NFL, and I'm a little bit flummoxed that the expectation is he will most definitely have this amazing chemistry with Deshaun Watson. They haven't even played together yet.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
I
what's-
think that's the voice of reason right there.
And here's the funny thing, Aditi. Like I saw when I tweeted my reaction that I thought this was a head scratcher. That so many people said to me, "Well, Deshaun Watson's going to make him a star." Well, if Deshaun Watson can make anybody a star, then what the hell am I going to pay this guy for?
right.
But- and
Harrison
that's
Bryant
kind of
can
the-
be that
well,
guy.
And to that point, guys, we don't necessarily know. I mean, a player can be an amazing player and not necessarily have chemistry with somebody. We just saw that with Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham Jr. versus Odell Beckham Jr. with Matthew Stafford. So just because they believe in Njoku, And he's never been that security blanket. When you think of these tight ends, when you think of what Heath Miller was to Ben Roethlisberger, when you think what Mark Andrews was not only to Lamar Jackson, but then to Tyler Huntley, it is a security blanket. David Njoku has never been that guy.
No,
and so why do we suddenly expect him to be that guy with somebody that he's never played with?
And my example to that, Aditi, to your point, look at the talent that the Kansas City Chiefs have on offense. Look at the weapons they have. But when you go back and you think about these huge plays that the Chiefs have to pick up, it's 3rd and 15. You almost know they're going to Kelsey. The defense almost knows they're going to Kelsey. And they go to Kelsey and they get the first down. If Njoku becomes that guy for the Browns, thank the Lord. I think this is a great deal. But he's never been that guy. I've seen nothing that tells me he's going to be that guy. And for that kind of money, I want that kind of security that you talked about and that Kelsey provides for the Chiefs. And I don't think we're going to get it.
And Jay, when you look around the division, I mean, yes, obviously Mark Andrews, I'm a huge Mark Andrews fan, but the Steelers' rookie tight end, Pat Freiermuth, was almost more reliable and more money a year ago. I mean, clearly the Steelers felt very comfortable going to him, and he turned into a touchdown machine. That's what you want out of your tight end. And we just haven't seen Njoku do it yet. Is he capable of doing it? Sure. I mean, obviously, he was a first-round pick who came in lauded, who there were very high expectations for. And to some degree, your contract is for what you are promising, what your future is, as opposed to what you've already accomplished. So the Browns do believe that. I will say this, though. Austin Hooper is gone, and you were just talking about Austin Hooper maybe cutting into some of his touches. But when I did that Chalk Talk with Kevin Stefanski a few weeks ago, just before I was in studio with you guys, he was specifically asked for one young player that he was looking to make a jump, and the one he named was Harrison Bryant.
That's fascinating.
A guy who plays the same position as Njoku.
And they could have had Njoku on a tag for a year, and if he does become that guy finally in year 6, then you pay him.
But there's
then you pay him.
To me, there's no down. What is the downside to the move?
That
he stays the guy that we've seen the last 5 years.
To a below average player.
So here's my
could affect you signing somebody else next year.
So here's the thing: you sign Austin Hooper. He wasn't no good. You cut him after 2 years.
Right?
Did it hurt you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what did it cost you in not getting someone else?
Here's the thing, G. If not Hooper, for that same chunk of money, we could have had a productive player that could have made the Browns a better team.
So here's
Hooper
the thing.
did not make the Browns a better team.
So here's what
he made us worse.
And so that is why David Njoku and Bryant are behind him, and they gave him the money because they said, hey, we're going to move on partly because you didn't do anything, but partly because we think David Njoku could be a bigger part of the offense. And I also look at this. I always talk about this with quarterbacks, right? And so it's either like they get all the credit or they get all the blame, right? So I'm going to ask myself, and I'll ask the panel, is it a coincidence Odell had the worst year of his life? No. Is it a coincidence Jarvis Landry had the worst year of his life? David Njoku's numbers are down. So
well, wait a minute. In Landry's case, he was hurt, and the guy had never been hurt.
I mean, he was hurt a couple years. What I'm saying is it matters who's throwing you the football.
I know, but Baker's been throwing to them for a couple of years.
And have they had crazy numbers? No,
but
did it matter when Tyler Huntley was throwing the ball to Mark Andrews? It didn't.
It didn't matter.
Mark Andrews was still ridiculously productive. I just think that if you're a guy that catches the ball, you find a way to get open, you become a security blanket. Again, I'm using that same phrase that the quarterback feels he can feed the ball to you.
And Aditi,
it just feels too easy to blame this on Baker or blame this on the offense a year ago. David Njoku has never had 60 catches. He's never had 1,000 yards. Heck, he's never even had 700 yards.
And that's a problem. And Aditi, how many times did we see Baker throw the football to Njoku, hit him square in the midst, and the ball ended up on the carpet? I saw that a lot last year, G. Bush.
I'll give you that. I'll give you about the drops. All I'm saying is this.
Yeah.
When you look at the money, you got Dallas Goedert, you got some of these other guys.
Yeah.
Is he Kelsey? No. Is he Kittle? No. But
he's paid like them.
But as a coach, as an organization, everybody ain't going to come out an A-plus player. They believe that he has the raw materials to do what he needs to do.
He's going into year 6.
But here's the thing. He's still young.
Some tight ends develop. The only thing I'll say to G's argument is there are some tight ends that do develop late. It is a position that guys can develop late. It's true.
But he
I
hasn't
think
developed yet.
But he hasn't developed at all.
Why are we paying him? Because we just think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't, and that's the bottom line. Somebody said to me, "Well, he would have held out and not played on the franchise tag." That's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. That guy who's been a below-average player is going to pass up on a chance for $11 million on a franchise tag? There's no way he would have sat out.
Aditi, you know this organization. Tell us what they're thinking. Really, what do you tell us what you think? Why do you think they did this? Just out of curiosity.
I don't. Well, you know what? I can't give you an answer to something that I don't understand at all. I do want to make one other point, though. You know, a player can get paid and then be so motivated to prove that he's worth every single penny. I would argue that TJ Watt did that a year ago. A player could be paid and he could get complacent. Do we know for sure that David Njoku is going to go out there every single day with the attitude that
question.
He gets a little mopey.
This insane contract that you've given me?
Hey, guys, we've got a history here. Where was Njoku with the organization a year ago?
Pouting.
18 months ago.
He wanted to be traded.
He wanted to be traded.
Yeah.
He's third on the depth chart. I mean, I'll say this.
The coach hasn't changed, though.
I'll say this. Aditi will be back. We will all be back. Book it.
But
rewind the tape,
but
McNuggets.
here's the bottom line.
I know. Put it down.
Here's
Rewind the tape when David Njoku balls out.
But even
when
if he
gets
does,
his 10 touchdowns.
I still think it was a bad move.
Why? You can't.
Because
that's
why not wait till he does it before you pay him?
Because that's not the way life works. You don't get paid based on, like, here's the thing. We even project our husband and wives. When you don't marry your wife today.
We didn't project with Baker.
Hold on.
I don't know that you want to go
Bush
there.
matter in 3 days.
No.
You
Project when you see somebody, they're not a finished product. What you're saying is, okay, can you rear children?
So you're marrying on potential.
It's a potential.
She has potential to be a hell of a woman.
And actually, she married me on potential.
Sometimes
that's what happened. That's what I'm talking about.
The problem is sometimes you get a Dogecoin. And then it's worthless and just goes under.
Aditi, imagine if we were having this conversation just for 1 second. Imagine if the Browns were to give Baker Mayfield a deal like this that would make him the 4th or 5th highest paid quarterback in the NFL after what we've seen for 4 years? And all of a sudden now we think, oh, he's got a big upside, he's got big potential. This city would have lost their mind if after last year they would have signed Baker.
They already did.
To the 4th. No, they didn't.
They gave him 18, and they can't get off the 18.
But I'm talking about making him the 4th highest paid for an extension, like they just did with David Njoku.
Look, I've said this over and over again that I really believe in Andrew Berry. I think Andrew Berry is one of the smartest, brightest minds in the National Football League. But quite frankly, I don't get this. And the next time I see him, I'll tell him. I mean, I'm sure he's watching right now, right, guys? He does watch.
Oh, he's huge. A huge fan.
He's on next.
It makes sense to me. It really doesn't. And I would actually venture to say, I would rather have Mark Andrews and I would rather have Pat Freiermuth if you're going around the division.
Well, gosh, I would
I can't even remember who the Bengals tight end is now that
he
he's
signed, what's his name, who used to be on the Ravens. And then he went to Atlanta last year.
Oh,
Hayden Hurst.
Oh, yeah, they lost their tight end, didn't they?
Yeah,
he's gone.
Uzama went to the Jets.
Yeah.
When you go around the division right now, you really think, besides G, because G clearly thinks that David Njoku is going to have the best season of any tight end ever in the history of the National Football League. But do all of you really think that he's going to be better than Freiermuth and Mark Andrews?
I don't.
Freiermuth.
Oh, no way.
I would take him over Freiermuth.
Andrews, no.
I think Freiermuth, it could go either way. I'm not completely
Well, he's
sold
got a
on
new
Freiermuth.
quarterback now there, too.
There
so
you
we'll
go.
see.
Yeah, but he's not any good either.
But he's so dismissive.
It's a flat-out embarrassment. Anybody that would have a conversation about whether David Njoku is better than Mark Andrews is embarrassing themselves.
Oh, yeah.
What
we won't even do that.
What we've seen so far, which is a large enough sample size, not even in the same zip code.
Yeah.
But pay-wise, he's just beneath.
Yeah, Mark Andrews is the best tight end in football now. He's better than Kittle. He's better than Kelsey.
I still like Kelsey
I still think he's.
I mean,
I think he's the
isn't
best.
this all irrelevant? Aren't they still just going to run the ball? I mean, really, Nick Chubb better get the most touches. That's how I feel about it.
So, Aditi, you know what? If that's the case, like, it's even more head-scratching.
Right, because he's not really a great blocker.
No.
This isn't like
Now,
blocking tight end that you really desperately need in the run game.
And by the way, outside of Kelsey, all those other tight ends making money, those other 3 guys, are all with teams with the quarterbacks on a rookie contract. Andrews, right. Goddard in Philly, They got Jalen Hurts, who they'll probably get rid of after this year, and then who we forget, Kittle. They
Look,
got
the best case scenario, I'll give you this, is Njoku proves us wrong and proves you right. And he comes out and he balls out and he shows that he's worth every penny. I'm just saying right now, considering what he has produced and how long he's had to produce and take that step, we haven't seen it yet. So that's why.
I'm going to ask Aditi this. What does his numbers have to look like this year for you to say it's a good contract? What would he have to, what would the bar be? For Njoku.
10 touchdowns, 1,000 yards.
Yep,
Yeah.
I'll take that because that's what you're paying him for.
Okay.
That's the kind of contract that he.
Yeah, I don't want no. If he gets 770 with 6 touchdowns, that's fine. That's
but
quality
that's
tight
not
end
number
numbers.
4
But
tight
right,
end
yes.
money. Aditi, have you talked to any of your colleagues? What are those in the national media or other GMs? If you've talked to anybody,
Are they making fun of us?
What are they saying about what are they saying about this move? Because it's such a head scratcher.
You know, I do radio in Pittsburgh every Monday, and it was actually, even though the Steelers just named a new general manager and have rebuilt their entire front office and have bid adieu to somebody that's been there a long time, we spent a good chunk of time yesterday actually talking about the Njoku deal.